Okay, well in this video we're going to talk about screenings. Most people's favorite thing possible to do. Not really, but I think for people that are good at screenings, they are actually fun to do. And I can say, as much as I would say at this point I probably wouldn't really prefer to do one today, when we were really doing them on a regular basis, I actually did enjoy them, and we had a lot of success at them, and so they became enjoyable. So, I think there's two different mindsets you can have when you are going to do a screening. The first is that you can go into it thinking, okay, well, I'm just going to go out here, set up my stuff, whatever that may be, and I'm not really going to prepare or practice what I'm going to do. I'm just going to be here to talk to people and try to be nice, and hopefully somebody will come in to see me in the office. And it's not that you won't get a patient from that. It is possible. Certainly, I know it's possible because I know most of the chiropractors that were always around us in our city did that kind of thing, and it worked. They got some patients from it. But, I know they'd also be scratching their head trying to figure out, like, how did we get 120 patients scheduled at the screening and they didn't get that many? And not even remotely close to that. We had the same screening, same people walking by, same people came by our booth and went by theirs. And I think in this particular one that I'm even talking about, most people came to us second. So how did they miss the first one and stop at ours and end up starting care in our office? Well, what was the difference there? So, the difference was that we went into the screening very well trained and on a mission. I think if your thought process is that, if you think this way, and I know some chiropractors do, there's nothing wrong with this, but some chiropractors think that chiropractic is good. It's not really necessary for everyone. If someone wants to come to see me, that's great. I can help them out. If that's your thought process, you will not do well at screenings. It's probably not a good thing for you to do. You should rely on like print advertising or something else. If your thought process is that, and I know this is the way we thought about it when people were out there, is, every time someone comes past my table, if I don't make an effort to try to help them, then I have failed that person. And when I started thinking about it that way, my wife started thinking about it that way, and our team started thinking about it that way, it's a lot easier to ask someone to stop when you're trying to help them. And it's not about you. It's not about making more money or having the biggest office in the world. It's about helping somebody else. And I think with all the marketing that you do, that has to be at the core. I know if you look at the article marketing page or the print ad marketing page, why did our print ads work really well? Because they came from our heart, and the people that were reading the stories that were in them could feel that. And so it wasn't about come into our office so we can make some dollars. It was about helping people. And screenings have to be that way as well. So a couple things I would say that you don't want to do at a screening from my experience. One is that, as silly as it is and as much as it disappoints me, most people believe they know what chiropractic is and what chiropractors do, and in reality they have no idea what a chiropractor is or what they do. So when they're coming down the aisle at a show of any kind, a health screening, fishing show, boat show, we did everything. If there was a show, we did it. It didn't matter. And I think that you should go at it with that same kind of attitude if you're going to do well. And honestly, some of those oddball shows, like the fishing show, we did better at those than we did at the health screenings by far, because we were an odd thing there and people were more likely to stop and talk to us. So one of the things that I know that killed us when we did this in our booth was when we had chiropractic stuff all over the booth. I love chiropractic, so does my wife. It honestly really saved my life. But if I have chiropractic things all over my booth and the person knows that we're a chiropractor as they're coming down the aisle because they're a little bit intimidated, you feel the same way when you're walking down the aisle of one of those shows. All the salespeople are hawking down on you, and it's kind of you're trying to kind of avoid eye contact with them, but you kind of glance at the booths and see what's there, and you may stop at something if you're interested. Well, if you're walking down the aisle and you think you know what a chiropractor does, and you look up and it says such and such chiropractic on this big banner, and there's a huge spine on the table which looks kind of scary, and all this stuff, like, they're gonna look the other way. And I was doing a screening one day with one of our best staff members, and we really weren't doing well, and I couldn't figure out what was going on, but I was watching people as they were coming down the aisle, and they were looking up at the banner we had, and then they would look away from us. And I finally turned to my staff member, her name was Heather, and I said, Heather, we got to take that banner down. Watch people's eyes when they're coming down the aisle. She's like, yeah, they're looking at the banner, and then they look away, and I said, let's take the banner down. So I know the guy in the booth next to us is looking at it, he's like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, just watch. I took the banner down. Within a minute, we had a line of people stopping to talk to us because they were trying to figure out what we were doing. They were curious because we had our scanner there, we had a subluxation station, and we've used a subluxation station and Titron. They're both great. The Titron, I think towards the end we started using the Titron a little bit more. And you know, it wasn't for analysis purposes or anything like that. And there's all these arguments between which one's better. And to me, I don't really care. It doesn't matter so much to me. But the Titron was just more mobile. You know, we didn't have to have all this stuff. It wasn't so bulky when we were screening. We just had the little handle and plugged in our computer and we were good to go, and it was faster to run. So we liked it a lot. And it was a little bit less cost too. But we had 2 subluxation stations, and we had a whole bunch of stuff. But that was the one that we felt was a little bit easier as a tip on that. But the other thing that we did, you know, we would have our projector projecting on the screen showing the scans we were doing. And in one of the videos, in the last video, we'll try to set some of this stuff up for you guys so you can kind of see the layout of how we did it. Kind of do a run through of how we did screenings. And then there's a lot of ways to do them, but I think we did pretty well at them. We also use those little spine models, the little 4 spinal degeneration models. Those worked great. They're small, they don't stand out. It's not like a big spine on the table that people can see. They didn't really know what it was. So, and they work awesome for doing the explanation of what chiropractic is and what the scan means and all that stuff. So, you know, I think as far as the screenings go, you just need to keep it simple. You can spend so much money on all these backdrops and ancillary things, and I really don't think it helps you that much. It doesn't help nearly as much as having a good focused plan with your staff and your team of what you're going to say, what your offer is going to be, and how you're going to generate a patient into the office and help them to improve. So I hope this information helped you. Make sure that you check out all the other videos and programs on the other pages of the website, and also make sure that you tell your friends about this website as well. You know, it's a free resource for everybody to use. And it's about time that chiropractors really start reaching out into their communities and helping as many people as they should be. And you know, my hope is that the information on this site helps a lot of chiropractors get better at doing that. So enjoy everything here, take advantage of it.